Buenas noches. Creo que es noche para muchos. Yo estoy en Los Ángeles, así que para mí son las 6 de la tarde. Les quiero decir ahora que esta clase la vamos a hacer 100% en inglés. Bueno, 95% en inglés, después 5% en español. Para que practiquemos nuestra comprensión, para que practiquemos. Yo hablo bastante lento en inglés, así que como es una prueba, pero es una práctica también. Voy a dejar que la gente llegue. Hola, estoy viendo un montón de comentarios. Hola, from Tigre, Argentina. Hello, Andy, ¿cómo estás? How are you? Hello, from Bogotá. Bienvenidos. Hello, everybody from New York. Germán, from New York. So cool. I am in California, so the other side of the country, but still in the United States. You say you don't have audio. Can you guys hear me? Do you guys hear me okay? Yeah? Okay. Just making sure. Awesome. Hello, everybody. Hello, Pablo. Hello, Sergio, Manuela, Jorge, Anabel, Fernando. How is everyone? Guys, I'd like to know how you heard about this class. Did you get an email? Did you find out about it on Instagram? Did you get a notification to your WhatsApp? How did you find out? Déjenme saber. Oh, I always switch to Spanish on accident. Hello, Armando. Hello, Sara. Hi, Michael. Hello, Rio, Eric. ¿Cómo andan? How is everyone doing? Thank you for joining me, guys. I'm so excited. So basically, in this class, we're going to do, like I said, in the note, like the things we sent out, is a comprehension class. So it really is to test your level of comprehension with some questions after I read you guys a story. Okay, so that's what we're going to see here. I'm going to put the screen a little bit like this. And yeah, tell me first. I'm going to check the chat to see if you guys, how you found out. Okay, it says, I found out because of Instagram live post. Perfect. Awesome. We just did an Instagram live. Manuela says, I'm a fluency student. Well, awesome. I'm so glad. Amazing. Anyone else? How did you find out? In the live before. Okay, so that Instagram before is good. That's a good reminder for you guys. That's good to know. Awesome. Did you guys, well, first off, if you want to be notified of, okay, perfect. Dev says that they found out by email. So guys, if you want to find out by email, you can put your email in our link where we will let you know. Voy a pedir que mi equipo ponga el enlace ahí para que se puedan anotar ahí. Y podemos, así podemos notificarte cuando estamos haciendo una clase, cuando sale algún contenido, cuando tenemos algo, okay? So we're going to put that in the chat, and then you guys will be able to anotarse in that link if you want to stay up to date with our stuff, okay? Here it is. It is in the comments. Awesome. So, like I said, we're going to do a comprehension class. Important stuff before we start. Esta clase sí se queda guardada en YouTube para que la puedas ver cuantas veces que quieras, okay? That's awesome because you can continue to practice your comprehension skills even after we do the class, okay? I will also, at the end of the class, we will give a complimentary material. Así que anótense en ese enlace que mandamos en el chat para que te lleguen las cosas, los materiales. Okay? Awesome. Also, the story transcript that I'm going to read, we will let you guys have in that material. That way you can listen to it with my audio and match it up and practice again. Okay? Awesome, guys. Another reminder, algo que pasa un montón, lo voy a decir en español esta parte, porque algo que pasa mucho cuando hacemos estas clases en vivo es que mucha gente dice que la calidad de su pantalla no está buena. Lo que puedes hacer, y dice acá en la pantalla, si se ve súper borrosa la imagen, la pantalla, puedes mejorarla en YouTube. Hay una ruedita que está en la pantalla acá, tengo un screenshot ahí, donde cliqueas ahí y mejoras la calidad a, yo creo que a 720. 720 para tener mejor calidad, ¿ok? Si alguien te manda, si alguien dice que en el chat que no tiene buena calidad, ayuda a esa persona porque voy a estar tratando de hacer la clase y podemos ayudarnos a todos nosotros mutuamente, ¿ok? Awesome, guys. Well, that's pretty much it. Again, for this class, we are going to listen to a story multiple times, twice, and we're going to then answer some questions about the story. Okay? Basically, in this story that I wrote, there will be some really useful vocab and expressions and terms that are useful for you to use in your everyday lives, okay? And if you have any questions, any doubts, any words you don't understand, anything that's hard for you, we're going to go over that. You guys can just tell me in the chat and I will be sure to help you if I can, okay? Awesome. Wonderful, guys. So let's go ahead and listen to the story. Again, like I said, this is going to be 95% in English, 5 to 10% in Spanish, okay? This is a good practice. Don't worry, please don't worry if you don't understand something. If something doesn't make sense, if you don't get what I'm saying, if you're confused, don't worry. It's not a big deal. We're just here to learn. You being here is learning. And I promise that if you are confused or don't understand something, it's going to be okay. And we're going to work on it as we go through this class. Okay? You don't have to stress. You don't have to feel bad. Nothing. We're going to figure it out. We're going to understand what the story says after the class is over. Okay? I want to give you one more tip that I always would use when I was doing listening comprehensions. This tip is that as you are listening to me tell this story, have a pen or pencil and paper and write down words that you understand me say to try to piece together this story, to try to make it make sense. Okay, so even just main ideas or things that I say that you're like, oh, I understood. I'll write it down. That way I have an idea. Okay, that's the idea of this. We're trying to get a summary, get the big idea of this story. The goal isn't to understand every word of this story. That's really hard. That's really difficult. That's even difficult sometimes for native speakers. Okay, so don't stress. We're going to get right into it, and I'm excited. Okay, let's do it. Next slide. Here we go, guys. I'm going to tell the story starting now. In the heart of Madrid, John found himself in a world of new sights, sound, and smells. He was a tourist, wide-eyed and eager to explore every corner of this new and exciting place. Just his second day there, John woke up and decided to stop at a cute little coffee shop in a popular alley. He smelled the rich aroma of fresh brewed coffee as he sat down and planned the day ahead. Full of hope, he quickly finished his coffee and headed out to see the city. I'm going to put this image here so you guys have a better understanding, okay? Perfect. Hours and hours passed by, which felt like an eternity as John paced back and forth. He checked every shop. Sorry, I messed up. Here we go. Listen to this paragraph because this is actually more important. It wasn't until he reached the next place on his list that he felt panic throughout his body. He frantically searched his pockets and realized that his passport was missing. He decided to retrace his steps in hopes to find his missing passport. That was an important clue, guys. Continuing. Hours and hours passed by, which felt like an eternity as John paced back and forth. He checked every shop, every bench, every nook and cranny, but no luck. He began to think of all the issues that he will now have in his travels, especially when he tries to return to his home country. And this was not easy for him to handle. Just as he was about to lose all hope, John remembered something, an image of his passport left behind on the coffee shop table he first stopped at. He remembered pulling it out at the same time he pulled out his phone from his pocket. John sprinted back as fast as he could to the coffee shop. When he entered, the passport was not on the table he sat at, but the owner looked at him with a smile and said, ¿Te olvidaste de algo? A little bit of Spanish. Although John had only a basic level of Spanish and didn't understand the question, the owner's face said it all. The owner reached down and grabbed the passport from the bar. John became so overwhelmed with relief that the only thing he could do was cry. He was so happy to find his passport and very thankful to the restaurant owner for finding and keeping an eye on it. He says, "Muy gracias a ti." The owner simply smiled and handed it over to John. As John stepped back outside to the streets of Madrid, a sense of gratitude took over him. He had found not only his passport, but also the kindness and generosity of strangers in a foreign place to him. Okay, guys, what do we think? ¿Qué pensamos? This is a long story, but did you understand some of what I was saying? Let me know in the chat if you understood some of the story. If not, again, that's totally fine. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being really hard, 5 being really easy, how much did you understand? Let me know in the chat. Oh my gosh, Dev says, I understood everything. Amazing. Manuela, yes, I understood. Yes, I did. It was great. 5 for me. That is excellent, excellent news. Guys, I'm really impressed with your level of English then. Basically, what I'm going to do this second time that I read it is read it much faster. So basically, the words are going to blend together, and you're going to try to see if you understand, okay? Manuela says 5 for me. Andy says 4. Yes, I understood 50%. Josué, no te preocupes. Si entendiste 50%, no hay ningún problema. Okay, vas a entender todo al final. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Guys, okay, then let's get back into it. I'm going to read the story again. Are we ready? Are we ready for that? Remember, write down what you understand. Write down any words, any ideas, any phrases that help you better understand the story. Guys, don't worry if you didn't understand. It's okay. There's no stress. I'm going to read the story one more time, this time a little bit faster, and then we're going to figure it out together. Okay? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Don't even worry. All right, let's do it. And 3, 2, 1. Bye. In the heart of Madrid, John found himself in a world of new sights, sounds, and smells. He was a tourist, wide-eyed and eager to explore every corner of this new and exciting place. Just his second day there, John woke up and decided to stop at a cute little coffee shop in a popular alley. He smelled the rich aroma of fresh brewed coffee as he sat down and planned the day ahead. Full of hope, he quickly finished his coffee and headed out to the city. It wasn't until he reached the next place on his list that he felt panic throughout his body. He frantically searched his pockets and realized that his passport was missing. He decided to retrace his steps in hopes to find his missing passport. Hours and hours passed by, which felt like an eternity, as John paced back and forth. He checked every shop, every bench, every nook and cranny, but no luck. He began to think of all the issues that he will now have in his travels, especially when he tries to return to his home country. And this was not easy for him to handle. Just as he was about to lose all hope, John remembered something. An image of his passport left behind on the coffee shop table he first stopped at. He remembered pulling it out at the same time he pulled his phone from his pocket. John sprinted back as fast as he could to the coffee shop. When he entered, the passport was not on the table he sat at, but the owner looked at him with a smile and said, "¿Te olvidaste de algo?" Although John only had a basic level of Spanish and didn't understand the question, the owner's face said it all. The owner reached down and grabbed the passport from the bar. John became so overwhelmed with relief that the only thing he could do was cry. He was so happy to find his passport and very thankful to the restaurant owner for finding and keeping an eye on it. Muy gracias a ti, John says. The owner simply smiled and handed it over to John. As John stepped back inside to the streets of Madrid, a sense of gratitude took over him. He had found not only his passport, but also the kindness and generosity of strangers in a foreign place to him. Bueno, chicos, me cansé porque leí tanto y me duele la cabeza, pero how did it feel this time? What did we understand? Did we write down any phrases? Did we write down any words? Are we confused? This time, 1 to 5, easy to hard. How did we feel? What do we think? Let me know, guys. Let me know. It was difficult. It's okay. It's okay if it was difficult. It's okay if you didn't understand. There is no stress. There is no issues with that. That's why we're here, okay? Don't even worry. Awesome. Good. Hello. I'm getting more people coming in, joining the live class. Yes. Everything. That's so impressive. That's really impressive. I'm incredibly impressed with that. Understood. Easy. A little bit hard. Okay. No worries. 5. Awesome, guys. Okay. With that in mind, we are going to start with the first question. Okay. We're going to start with the first question. This is to test your level. Any questions that you guys have about the story, I'm going to go over it with the questions, okay? Any questions you have, we will understand. Just let me know in the chat, all right? With vocab. All right, here we go. First question. How did John feel about the new journey he was going on in Madrid? Okay, guys, so what does journey mean? What does journey mean? Do we know what the word journey means? Journey. César, me encanta la actitud. Amo que digas esto. No entiendo nada, pero vamos para adelante. Es así es. Si no entendés, chicos, por eso estamos acá. Si no entendés algo, no te preocupes. César, me encanta que hayas dicho eso. Así que estamos acá para aprender. Trata de entender lo que puedas. Si no, no pasa nada. Puedes escuchar esta clase de vuelta después. ¿Ok? Awesome. Journey means, voy a escribirlo acá. Journey means, Oh my gosh, guys, I don't even know the right translation of this. A journey would be like tu jornada o tu experiencia. Aventura, me parece mejor. Adventure, okay? That's what journey is. So how did John feel about his journey? Jornada, aventura. A, he was wide-eyed and eager. B, he felt scared and alone. C, he felt disappointed and anxious. Or D, he felt skeptical and unsure. Okay, guys, what does anybody know what wide-eyed means? What does wide-eyed mean? This is a really good phrase to know. Wide-eyed, and I actually think of like a child or a baby with this term. Wide-eyed, okay? Wide-eyed, think of a kid or a baby. When they're little, they are like so curious about everything, right? They just want to learn and absorb and understand. So they're very like wide-eyed. That's what that means. It means to be very curious, very wanting to learn, wanting to experience, wanting to have a journey. That's wide-eyed, okay? So eager means ansioso, pero de manera positiva. So anxious, but in a good way, excited, ready, okay? So the answer is A, because John is very excited. He's very eager. He is wide-eyed. He's ready to go, right? Do we need any help with other words do we understand all the words in options B, C, and D? For example, we understand that disappointed means what? Disappointed means decepcionado or decepcionada, right? It means upset, sad. You had a hope for something and it didn't happen, right? It means you believed something was going to be good, you were happy, and then it let you down. Disappointed, okay? Right. Skeptical means, yeah, great. I figured this is a difficult word. Skeptical means cuando dudas, cuando tienes una duda, when you're like, I'm kind of skeptical about this. I don't know about that. I'm not sure. And then you ask questions because you don't believe it, okay? Skeptical. You're like, I don't know about this. You're worried or doubtful, okay? Estás dudando algo, entonces tienes dudas, okay? Awesome. Awesome, guys. Are we good? Okay, let's keep going then. Let's go to the next question. What city was John in and where did he decide to stop first? Okay, what city was he in and where did he decide to stop first? A, New York, and he stopped at Central Park. B, Madrid, he stopped at a coffee shop. C, Paris, he stopped at a bakery. Or D, in his local city and he stopped at the mall. What do we think? What city was John in and where did he decide to stop first? I'm seeing a bunch of correct answers. Primero tengo una pregunta de Unión TV Promo. I don't know what that is, but now I'm curious. Unión TV Promo. Well, can I say understand o understood? Te digo una cosa, understood es el pasado de understand. So if I say, I understand what you are saying, yo entiendo lo que está diciendo. But if I say, I understood what you said, sería entendí lo que dijiste, pasado. Okay? Awesome, awesome. Okay, cool. Cool. So I'm seeing everyone is putting B, and that is the correct answer. Guys, when we say shop, coffee shop, it's common to use the word shop, right? Porque un shop es un shopping. Me parece que a veces lo decimos en español. Creo que me estoy confundiendo con el portugués, porque muchas veces dice shopping, maybe. But yes, coffee shop. Coffee shop. A shop can be a store. It could be a market. Okay. And again, we are in the city. John is in Madrid. Lucky John. I wish I was in Madrid. Guys, this is really, I like to see your participation, and I'm really happy that you guys are participating and putting yourself out there, because it's not easy. Okay, so good job doing this. And we got the answer right. We knew it. Is there any questions about words in here that we don't know? Madrid, coffee shop, Paris, bakery. Do we know what a bakery is? Do we know what a bakery is? Yes? No? Exacto. Let's see. A bakery is What do we think? It's a panaderia, right? It's where you go to get bread or cake or sweets or things like that, right? Panaderia, exactly. Como dice Josué. Panaderia, bakery, bakery. I like it better in Spanish. Yeah, I like it better in Spanish. Okay, we're going to go to the next question, guys, because you guys are rocking and rolling. Okay, number 3. What caused John to feel so anxious and frantic? We've got a difficult word here, don't we? Frantic. What does frantic mean? While you are figuring that out, I will read the responses, okay? A, he was unsure how to get around this new city. B, he was afraid he wouldn't be able to communicate. C, he realized his passport was missing. Or D, he didn't want to seem like a tourist. Immediately, I'm seeing really good responses. The answer is C. So everyone is getting it correct. C, correct. But what does frantic mean? What does frantic mean? Basically, it means it's a very similar meaning to the word anxious or nervous. But when you're frantic, you're almost like shaking. You're almost like a little bit panicking, right? You're like so stressed and kind of high strung and nervous. Okay, that's frantic. So that's the adjective. We will see later on it used as an adverb. Okay. Okay, cool. Guys, any words here that we don't understand in the options? The answer was C. So you guys got it right. Are there any words that we don't understand? No, we're good. Okay. Unsure, that just means to not be sure. No estar seguro. So in English, we can say, I am not sure or I am unsure. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, okay? No estoy seguro. Awesome. Next question. I see people are ready. Number 4, what did John do to try to find his lost passport? What did John do? A, he retraced his footsteps. That's an interesting word. Retraced and footsteps. B, he called the local police to report it missing. C, he went to the embassy to report it stolen. Or D, he decided to go back to where he was staying and try to relax. This is tricky. What did John do to try to find his lost passport? Interesting. I think I came up with some really good and tricky options here, because the one that makes a lot of sense would be letter D. But the correct answer is letter A. Letter A. Letter A. Yes. And there's a word here that we need to understand. Retrace. This is a verb. to retrace your footsteps is volver, tipo cuando caminas a algún lado y se te cae algo en el camino, volvés por ese mismo camino y te fijas en cada huella, cada paso que diste, ¿cierto? So that's retracing your footsteps, your pasos. You retrace, you redo, hacer de vuelta, okay? That's what retracing is. And we saw that in the story. It said he decided, look at the bottom here, guys. I'm pointing to it. He decided to retrace his steps in hopes to find his missing passport, right? Okay, that's tricky. Do we understand retrace? ¿Alguna duda con eso? Any doubt? We're good? Okay, let's look at just the other choices and figure out vocab with those. So, answer B says he called the local police to report it missing. We're good. C, he went to the embassy to report it stolen. Stolen, right? And D, he decided to go back to where he was staying and try to relax. Exactly, Josué. Retrace means devolverse por donde ya había pasado. Perfect. Exactly. Understood. Good? Okay, guys. I think we've got... Yeah, Andy, gracias por decir eso. Volver sobre sus pasos. I didn't know the right translation, so thank you. Perfect, perfect. Okay, guys. I think we have one more question. Let me check. Yes, we have one more question. What reminded John of where his passport might be? What reminded John? What do we think? His friend reminded him he had the passport at the coffee shop. John remembered that it fell out of his pocket when he left the coffee shop. An image in his head of pulling out the passport from his pocket. Or John realized the coffee shop was the only place it could possibly be. What do we think? ¿Qué pensamos? What reminded John? So, what reminded him? ¿Qué lo recordó? O ¿qué hizo que se acordara? Right? What reminded him? What made him remember? What do we think? His friend. I'm seeing some correct answers. The correct answer, guys, is C. C, C, C. So, an image in his head of pulling out the passport from his pocket. So, guys, remember, I read to you guys, and the text is here. I'm going to move myself for just a second. He remembered pulling it out at the same time he pulled out his phone from his pocket. Okay, so he was getting his passport out, or he was getting his phone out, and the passport also came out with it. Also, who carries their passport in their pocket? I would not do that. I would keep it in my backpack or really keep it somewhere safe, you know? You don't want to have your passport just in your pocket. Do we know what the word pocket means? Do we know what pocket is, guys? Pocket is bolsillo. Boom. There it is. That is pocket, bolsillo. Yes, exactly, Fernando. Perfect, perfect, perfect. You guys are so smart. Awesome. Do we have any doubts with this question? How are we doing? Are we good? Okay, cool. Basically, what we're going to do now is understand the important vocab from what we just went over with these questions. Okay, so look at this stuff here. These are really, really great phrases that you guys can now start to incorporate in your English. Okay? Mariana dice, how pronunciation of image? Image, image, image. So, no es, sé que significa imagen, pero se pronuncia image. Image. So sería como E en español. E-M-E-G en inglés. Image, image, image. Okay? Great. Mira, Graciela, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Graciela says, I remembered something about pocket. Guys, this is what I was saying at the beginning of the class. When you hear words that are specific and can help you understand a story, write them down. And I think Graciela did this exactly. So great job remembering that word. Yes, Nasli. Muy buena pregunta. Vamos, yo creo que en el material complementario, voy a preguntarle a mi equipo si están los slides en el material complementario. Sí, sí están. Así que vamos a compartir eso. Si pones tu correo en el enlace que vamos a poner ahora en el chat, te vamos a mandar el material complementario que tiene también las diapositivas. ¿Ok? Mi equipo está poniendo el enlace ahora. Fíjense en el chat ahora, está ahí. Es este enlace, okay? Amazing. All right, let's look at this vocab, okay? Wide-eyed. We already learned this word. Remember, think of a baby. They have really big eyes, right? They're like just so curious about everything. That is wide-eyed. They just want to learn. They just want to see. They just want to absorb, okay? It's an adjective. Good. Eager. Eager is an adjective. Remember, it means ansioso, pero bueno. Es un ansioso bueno, digamos. It's a happy, excited, anxious, right? Like before you go, maybe before you do a job interview or before you go on a trip. You're eager, you're nervous, but you're excited at the same time, okay? That's eager. Then we have the word frantically, which is the adverb of frantic, which means nervous, anxious, shaky, right? So if I frantically button my shirt, I'm like nervous and frantic, okay? Got it? Retrace your steps. We had a great translation earlier from, let's go back and see, Andy que dijo volver sobre sus pasos. Retrace your steps. It's a way to look for something that you've lost, that has fallen. You have taken all these steps and gone somewhere else, and then you realize, so then you retrace your steps, okay? Great. Pace back and forth. Does anyone know what this means? The translation to Spanish, I don't know if we have it, but pacing back and forth, you know when someone's nervous, a lot of times I imagine someone on the phone. If you're like on the phone and you're like, and you're walking around and you're like, oh my God, and you're just moving back and forth quickly, that's pacing back and forth. Pacing is that quick, like, you're just walking around. I do it all the time when I'm on the phone. Pace back and forth, okay? Great. To sprint. Sprint is basically the same thing as to run, but even faster and even more intense. If you're sprinting, you are like going fast, okay? Cool. Next phrase, every nook and cranny. This is a phrase you use when you want to say that you've looked in every possible spot for something you've lost. So I've lost many things in my life. And I remember my mom would always say, well, did you look here? Did you look there? Did you look under the bed? Did you look? It's like, yeah, I checked every nook and cranny. Okay? That's what that means. It's like there's nowhere else that I can check. I was usually wrong about this. There usually were places to check. Okay? Next phrase, no luck. No luck. So when we, básicamente esta frase es, estamos sin suerte. I am with no luck. I am out of luck. Luck means suerte, right? Cool. We have this next phrase that exists in Spanish when you say, your face says it all. Tu cara lo dice todo. So like if someone has a very expressive face and when they're mad, you can tell and they're like, they don't hide their expression, that's when you use this phrase. Your face says it all. You don't even need to talk because your face is saying what I know you're feeling, okay? Tu cara lo dice todo. Good? Next phrase, overwhelmed. Overwhelmed. What does overwhelmed mean? This is a difficult feeling, right? Because when we are overwhelmed, there is too much emotion happening and we don't know how to control it or handle it. It's like agobiado. Si estás agobiado, you're like overwhelmed. You don't even know what to do. So that's why John felt this way when he found the passport. All of the stress and anxiety and worry that he felt suddenly went away. And when that goes away, it's very overwhelming to deal with those emotions, right? He was overwhelmed with the last word here, relief. Relief. Relief is feeling good and better about something once it's over, after it has ended. So a relief would be un alivio. Exactly. You can also feel very relieved. I'm going to write this here because you'll see these used often. Relief es alivio. Relieved es aliviado. Okay? Good. You see that on the screen. Awesome. Guys, any more questions with that? What I want to do now is show the transcription of the story. I'm going to come back to the slides, but I want to show this transcription of the story so you guys can see if you have any questions with it. And any questions you have, any words you don't understand. Also, you guys can look at this live again, and we're going to send you the slides if you put your email. Yes, we put in the chat just now. We're going to send you the slides if you put in your email. That way you can watch this again. You can see the words again. You can listen again, everything. Okay. Basically, what I'm putting here now, and I want you to see, is that we do have a little invitation that is very similar to this class. It is gratuito, o sea, tenemos un podcast gratuito that's called Walk and Talk. I think my team has the link for that as well. Walk and Talk is basically our podcast. We just put it in the chat. It is free. I think a lot of people listen to it on Spotify, pero hay otras plataformas donde tenemos el podcast. But guys, it's a podcast where you are going to work a lot on your pronunciation because you're going to repeat phrases that I teach you. You're going to hear me showing and talking about a conversation in English, and the words of that conversation you will learn and practice out loud saying because I will have you repeat them. It's really, really good, guys. I think it's rated like top 10 podcast in Mexico or even in Colombia. I think it's a really high rated podcast because people learn a lot with it. You can listen to this podcast anytime. That's why it's called Walk and Talk, right? Caminar y hablar, because you can listen to it whenever. On the bus, cooking dinner, working, if you want. You know, you should probably be working, but if you want. Yes, so that is an invitation. It's free, okay? Es 100% gratuito. It's a great podcast. Check it out. You will hear my voice and you will hear Callie's voice. El podcast no está grabado en YouTube. Es algo que grabamos, que tenemos en Spotify. Creo que lo tenemos en todo. En todas las plataformas de podcast, okay? So you can listen to it wherever. Good? Awesome. Okay, I was seeing some questions. Alley. So what does the word alley mean? Alley means es un pasillo pero es afuera. tipo entre edificios. ¿Viste en las películas cuando está todo oscuro y una persona camina por el alley, por el pasillo de afuera? That's an alley. It's outdoors. It's outside. There's typically like someone walking and there's like a puddle, un charco. Callejón. Eso. Amo cuando ustedes saben traducir mejor que yo. Así que gracias. Callejón. Okay. Perfect. Guys, any other questions? Yes, Arturo, el podcast está en Spotify. Se llama Inglés con Fluency. Pusimos el enlace acá en el chat. Lo puse acá de vuelta. Inglés con Fluency se llama en Spotify, ¿ok? Podéis buscar Inglés con Fluency, exacto. Y voy a ponerlo acá. Y el enlace está ahí, Inglés con Fluency, y escuchar el podcast. Tenemos un montón de episodios ya que están ahí. Yo creo que no es tan importante el orden en que los escuches, pero si quieres, volver para abajo y empezar con el primero. Y así vas avanzando con nuestro podcast, ¿ok? Cali y yo grabamos estos podcasts, si la conocen a Cali. Entonces, son nuestras voces ayudando a que ustedes repitan y aprendan vocabulario con conversaciones reales de hablantes nativos, ¿ok? Awesome. Any other questions, guys? ¿Alguna otra pregunta? Déjenme saber. Cualquier otra duda que tengan. Si quieren nomás hablar con alguien sobre el curso. How can I find it? Graciela, ¿puedes encontrarlo? Yo digo de buscarlo en Spotify. No sé si tenés Spotify. Pero busca Inglés con Fluency y te va a aparecer el podcast, ¿ok? Listo, chicos. Cualquier otra duda que tengan sobre el curso completo, sobre las clases que hacemos, déjenme saber lo que quieran. Está en Google Podcast, pero esa plataforma desaparecerá este año. No sabía eso. Ok. Por eso, buscarlo en Spotify. Creo que con una cuenta gratuita de Spotify podéis escucharlo. No tenés que pagar. Puedes fijarte también, mi equipo me mandó, en Amazon Music, en Apple Music también está el podcast, ¿ok? En esa plataforma también, Amazon Music y Apple Music y Spotify también, ¿ok? Chicos, ¿alguna pregunta sobre el curso? ¿Hacemos estas clases en vivo gratuitas? Sí. ¿Hacemos los episodios de podcast gratuitos? Sí. Pero también tenemos un curso completo de inglés. Así que si tienen preguntas de eso, ahí puse el enlace ahí. Si se anotan, vamos a mandarte un correo. Podemos hablar con ustedes con cualquier duda que tengan, ¿ok? Yo siempre hablo del curso porque estoy súper orgulloso del curso. Pusimos un montón de esfuerzo con Cali. Yo hice clases de diálogo, hice algunas de las gramáticas. Cali hizo las clases de pronunciación. También tenemos clases de phrasal verbs. Tenemos clases de conversación también, que eso es un plus gigante. O sea, podés estar hablando con alguien en inglés. Así que tiene todo, ¿ok? Muchos preguntan si... Mira, ¿sabes que yo no sabría decirte el costo exacto? La verdad es que no lo sé. Pero te puedes fijar, o sea, alguien te puede contar eso de nuestro equipo, ¿ok? Déjame ver con mi equipo ahora. Claro, no sé el precio exacto, pero habla con nuestro equipo para averiguar todo, ¿ok? Sí, es súper importante hablar con el equipo. Cualquier otra duda que tengan, avísenme. Pero por ahora, eso es todo. Vamos a hacer una clase en vivo el próximo jueves, como siempre. Así que anótense para eso. Va a ser con Cali, esa clase. Y eso, chicos. Buenas noches. Gracias por haberme acompañado. Gracias por todo. De vuelta, cualquier duda o cualquier cosa que quieran avisarnos sobre estas clases, cualquier cosa que quieran mejorar o quieran entender o aprender, temas, lo que sea. Avísenos, pongan acá en el video comentarios con cosas que quieren, ¿ok? Graciela dice, I would like conversation. Es cierto, tenemos clases de conversación, ¿ok? So that you will get with our course. Yay! ¿Ok? Listo, chicos. Buenas noches, gracias por acompañarme y nos veremos en la próxima clase. O en Instagram, o en cualquier cosa, en cualquier lugar. Buenas noches, besos. Un saludo a todos. Chao, 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 chao.